everybody. Welcome to Aftermath. It is Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we are live. Welcome to our little sideshow where we get to sit and chat about all things Realmsmith. Here is your spoiler warning for all of Tides so far, and maybe some light spoilers for Critical Role. So if not caught up on Tides, I recommend going and catching up and then coming back and finding us later. I just want to give a huge thanks to our sponsor for Aftermath, Forged Gaming. They make really good quality tabletop accessories for game masters and players, and they have provided us a discounts code. So if you go to forgedgaming.com, add a bunch of fun stuff to your cart, and then you add Realmsmith20, all one word, at checkout, and you'll get 20% off your entire order. Catch our main title show, Tides of Wildemount, Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. Join us in our live moderated chat as we follow the Seditious Six as they attempt to complete their ultimate task of escorting the ancient Turtle Oracle, that's hard to say, across the Merrow Valley, dodging Crownsguard, werewolves, and political entanglement. And I think that's about all we have for our announcements tonight. It's actually pretty light. So let's bring on my co-host for today, Jason Azevedo. I said that wrong, I'm sorry.
Surprise, surprise. We never are on together, just us.
No, it's a brand new and fun thing. So welcome.
Thank you.
To our audience, if you're watching live and you have any questions for myself or Jason, go ahead and put it into the chat, prefaced by the word question in all caps, and the moderators will gather them up for me.
Amazing. And tonight, in fact, I know you have some questions for me, but Hillary, I have questions for you because you are a cast member now, and were last session. Again, spoiler warnings for everybody. But yeah, amazing. It's been amazing to have you. How has that been? First of all, how is it listening in to our craziness that occurs either pre-stream or mid-stream or whatever when you're on there?
You know, they're not joking that they really do get quite silly and stuff when the mics are not live for the world to hear. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And part of me says, yes, maybe we should record it, but also part of me says, no, we absolutely shouldn't.
We have to find a way to potentially do that. I'd love to find a way where we can actually record what's going on somehow. I don't know how to do it, but I would love to find a way to be able to kind of record in the background because that is gold content.
It was very much fun hearing all of the shenanigans, especially because even the other people, Nora and Omega, that were on the Zoom call with me didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And so I was just sitting there with my camera off and like listening to them talk and them like postulating who might the mystery guest be. Yeah. And it was really fun.
Yeah, no, it's been great. It's been fantastic. And again, lots of spoiler warnings for last episode of Tides. How was it jumping into Lady Tefra's skin? Was it and kind of yeah, what was that experience like? Kind of preparing for that and getting ready to do that?
Very intimidating. For one thing, knowing that I'm going to be on stream with a bunch of very experienced players and streamers and, you know, just a lot of people that I really look up to. And I really wanted to do it justice. Plus, you know, I'm sure it's not a surprise to know that obviously I'm kind of helping guide this kind of part of the story. And so I really wanted to make sure I had all my facts right. I was like researching like history of the Dwendalian Empire, history of the Cerberus Assembly. What are the relationships between everything? How should I be responding? And it was a lot, and I was so nervous the whole time, but I think it actually kind of lent itself well to the feeling of Lady Tefra, and it was really cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. And I mean, you did such a fantastic job. I think, how do you feel about how the party has reacted to Lady Tefra thus far, and kind of those relationships that exist there, and that are starting to sort of manifest and mature?
To be honest, I wasn't really sure how people were going to respond, but I was not expecting the amount of distrust, I don't know a better word for it, that Gregory had. That was pretty surprising. But I also didn't expect to just be opened with, or like welcomed with open
Yeah.
arms. Um, so yeah, I think it went about as expected. I was kind of expecting that Bolt would be pretty sold pretty quick when he knew he had a puzzle that he could sink his little dragonborn teeth into.
Yeah, yeah. Bolt is a simple character, simple needs. Not simple-minded,
Yep,
just simple needs.
yep. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And it was fun to kind of nerd out together because Lady Tefra definitely has a very nerdy side,
Yeah,
and it was fun.
yeah, yeah. That's great. No, and you did such a fantastic job.
Thank
Um,
you.
how did your knowledge of kind of Critical Role and its history, because you're an avid watcher and a lover of all things Critical Role, you always have Trinket nearby. Um, there you go. And on command, there's Trinket. Um, and how did that knowledge kind of help with getting into the role and understanding the Cerberus Assembly and kind of the way that they interact and act and all that kind of stuff?
To a degree, although we're in the world of Exandria, we're in such a unique little pocket here. It definitely informed a little bit, but so much of how we were interacting has to do with this unique little pocket
Yeah.
of Herethus that we've created,
Hmm.
which a couple of them pointed out, I think Gregory and maybe somebody else, that it's very unusual to see such a congregation of varied individuals.
Mm.
And um, but it did, I mean, just knowing the world that you're in and like the kind of tone that you're supposed to have, and seeing how the other assembly members were played, which were very scary and saccharinely charming.
Hmm.
And I tried to kind of pull on that.
Mm.
I don't usually play like super charismatic, confident characters.
Right.
My characters are very much like me and have a lot of like anxieties and silly stuff like that. So it was hard. Um, but I think it was definitely good to have examples of like some of those members and what they were up to.
Yeah, you were great. You played lovingly suspicious. Is that a very well? You were yeah, it was
I don't
good.
know what was at all. She seems very transparent.
Yes, yes, exactly. She's exactly what you would imagine.
Yeah.
Um,
It funny seeing the response from people in the chat because they were like, "Oh yay, Hillary! I hate Tefra. She's not worthy to be trusted, but yay, Hillary!"
yeah, 100%. That's great. That's really great. Fantastic. Do we have any questions yet from the
Oh,
folks?
I did see one in here for um, Sakura163 had a question for you, Jason.
Yes.
Did you have reasons for picking the specific members of the Discord that you described on stream, or was it
Hmm.
picked randomly? Um, and for those that might not know, many of the characters that Jason described upon entering Herethus are actually members of our Discord community that have created their own characters on D&D Beyond and now fill their shoes every day on Discord. And so how did you decide which ones to
Yeah,
highlight?
yeah, I didn't decide. That was in the hands of Jon, our illustrious Smith Guardian. And he didn't even decide. He left it to fate. And so we randomly selected folks at each tier level to be mentioned. So if you were mentioned, fate chose you. And we had nothing to do with it. So
So they were from all
yeah,
tiers.
yeah, they were. Yeah, we randomly chose kind of across the tiers, um, and we had a couple from each, and I kind of quickly kind of went through it and kind of looked at descriptions and yeah, it was fun. That was a lot of fun.
They were all so unique and different. And
Hmm.
if you're in the chat and you were one of those people, like shout out and let us know which one you were, because that was really, really fun to see. And I unfortunately did not recognize a lot of them. I haven't had as much time to role play in the Discord, but it was really cool to see and very exciting to see the response in the chat of like, hey, that was me, or who I know who that was.
Yeah,
It was to highlight the community like that.
yeah, and I mean that's part of what makes the Discord and the Patreon so unique is the ability to cross the streams like this, um, and now. I know that some of the cast and some NPCs have made some appearances already in the Discord this week, and through the next couple episodes, there will be more opportunities for the cast to jump in. And we can't make promises on who might. It is optional, but I know that a couple of them have already said that they'd like to stop in and get some things made and so on. So I'm very excited to find out what the deal is. And actually, it's funny because I was going to make a little reminder, and I think that I think it's important. What I would say to the community is important for people to remember that even though as a watcher and as a player, these people have come into the enclave, but you don't know who the characters are and you don't know the cast members of Realmsmith. So make sure that you're treating them when they show up like people who have randomly come into the enclave and that you're meeting for the first time, because that also helps them to role play and all of that kind of stuff too. So I know that the few who have gone in have gotten swarmed, which is totally cool. I love it. Give them all the attention, but remember that your player, even though your player knows, your character does not know who they are. So that's an important thing to kind of figure out. Yeah, to know and to go in
Yes, that
mindful of.
knowing things in D&D.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Question from Squeaky from our Discord. How does time interact between the weekly show and the 24/7 Discord play?
Yeah, so that's tough, right? I think that we all have to. I think that we have to remember the timey-wimey nature of everything. So, if I would just not hold anybody to the fire if a character comes in and says, "Hey, just last night I was in the tavern." One of our cast members say that, and then you're like, "No, that was a week ago." Like, just accept the narrative to flow the way that it needs to kind of go. Um,
Yeah.
Kind of helping them to understand that or that they'll if they jump in on Friday and say that they were in the tavern that night, just go with it. Allow that to kind of happen, because I think it's important that that people kind of keep that in mind for the experience that exists in the my son is army crawling behind me right now. You might hear him dragging himself and telling me to shut up, which he shouldn't do because he's a 15-year-old boy who should know better. But and you just heard him probably giggle. The internet just heard him giggle. Ethan, why don't you just say hi? Why not? That's part of the fun. Okay. All right. Well, bye, son. You have a good night. Oh dear, hilarious. Yeah,
So,
yeah, but yeah. What was the question again? I just got. They can see your reflection in the case, by the way. So you just wave. Sorry, the question.
was
Yeah,
the weekly stream
yeah,
time
yeah,
side, and it's timey-wimey. There's no
yeah,
hard and fast formula to it.
yeah,
A general rule of thumb is whatever's happened to the stream is what you guys know.
yeah.
But besides that, I don't know even really that that's super helpful, but that's what we go on.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
can I ask you some questions now?
of course you can.
I have to say that made me feel really good, though. Thank you for
Of course.
doing me.
Of course.
So a lot has happened. We're about halfway through the season already. We started the season with them crossing out of the Menagerie Coast and into the Empire. They were where we soon met a couple of new party members and unfortunately had to say goodbye to some. They were waylaid by werewolves while sleeping. They have appeared to have been affected by lycanthropy, found their way to the Secret Order of Blood Hunters in the Syrian Green Forest, and then found their way to Herethus, this funny little mining town in the middle of nowhere, and they just leveled up to level 6.
Yeah.
So many things.
So many things.
So it's always fun to see your narrative level ups. And I don't know that I've ever asked you this before, but do you do XP or milestone?
Milestone.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I always found that milestone is just easier to track. Tracking XP would be, and sometimes like you don't get XP necessarily for role play, so then you have to figure out a formula for role play sessions and all that kind of stuff. So I've just always done milestone.
Yeah, it works. I like it. Let's see here. So what, how do I ask this? The party was definitely infected by lycanthropy. They were then taken to the Order of the Blood Hunters in the forest, where it found out that they were in fact infected. What would you have done if some of the party were like, no, I want to keep this?
I would have rolled with it. I would absolutely have just let it happen. Um, I wouldn't have, yeah, I wouldn't have introduced it if I didn't have the intention of them possibly saying, yeah, I'm good. I'll keep this.
So my next question was going to be, how do you feel about party members with things like lycanthropy? But it sounds like you think it's fun.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's difficult in a community sort of Discord scenario because there is no dungeon master to closely, because it has to be a closely moderated scenario, obviously. But I have no problem with that kind of stuff. I love things like that. As most know, with what happened to Dimitri at the end of Into the Mist last season. I just love it. I love throwing monkey wrenches in, and just wait until you find out what I have in store for the party in the next couple episodes, because you're going to lose your minds.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, when is the, oh, actually, that reminds me of a question from Nick/Squeaky on our Discord server. The original projection for Tides was 3 months. As we are now entering the 3rd month, does that projection still look good?
Yes. So we will have 12 episodes of Tides. Once Tides is over, we're going to take a short, and I say short, longer than we typically would, break before we do Into the Mist, because I am actually moving studios. We are actually moving to a new studio. Very exciting. It's going to be a larger studio, so we don't have to like sardine past people as they're sitting at their table, which is exciting. And that's going to take some time. And so we'll have to figure that out. We're also talking about fun ways to have the rest of the cast at the table, meaning Nora and Omega potentially. That's all very up in the air. But anyways, lots of things that need to come together. But we're thinking about taking at least 3 to 4 weeks off between. But we will continue the Discord until Into the Mist starts. So you guys will get like a bonus month at the end of that 3 months, because all that hard work was done by Hillary and the Smithgardians and the team to get kind of the content for Tides complete. So it would be such a waste to not get enough time to have fun with it. So that's kind of the plan.
Well, that works out then. Good compromise for both situations. And so the Discord would stay obviously in Tides, and then
Yes,
for while we were off, and then switch back to Mists.
that's the plan.
When the next season of Mists comes up, and that might be the last season of Mists coming up.
We'll probably have 1 or 2, probably.
1 or 2.
Yeah, I where they're going, no spoilers, but folks who understand the module where we're going takes a while to get through. So it may be two seasons. We'll see.
And that actually leads me to another question I wanted to ask of like, they've been on this task for quite some time of trying to deliver the Oracle to Comorta, I believe.
Yep. Well, originally, yeah, so the plan is they need to go to Comorta to find out where Volantum is, or the location of Volantum, so that they can go,
Yeah, but along the way, there have been all of these other situations that have arisen. And there's been a little bit of inter-party chatter of like, do we focus? Do we keep trying to help with these side missions? How do you keep like a balance of keeping them focused, but also allowing these other little parts of the world to come in?
Yeah, it's a delicate balance. It's a balance that I don't want to feel railroaded at all. So I just give them options, and if they veer, I mean, I'm very much a living world sort of DM. So if they take too long, there will be repercussions from that, or at least not repercussions. I don't want to say like I'm punishing them, but if they take too long, that will affect things. If they don't do the other things, that will affect things, cause and effect, and so that it feels like a living world based on what they do and what they don't do.
I'm one of those players at any hint of a side mission, I'm like, let's go do that. Can we go do that?
Yeah. I mean, and Yanil has kind of been that true north star sort of pointing the way, and a constant reminder of kind of what lies ahead. But yeah, that's kind of the way that it's been thus far.
Can we talk about how fun drunk Snow and Sierra was?
Yeah, yeah, and those are things I never expected, right? Those are the little fun, gems that we get out of stuff that we never really expected to get, um, which is super exciting. So
We've got some comments and questions from our audience. The illustrious Omega Jones is in the chat.
I saw that.
He said, why are Hillary and Lady Tougher the best? Because why not?
Yeah.
Julia Taylor says, I about freaked when Omega turned out to be undercover and mentioned Icky's name. I'm struggling to remember who Icky is.
Ickathon.
Oh, Icky. Okay. I was like, is this a Discord member that I don't remember?
No, yeah. Yeah, the Icky. Mr.
The
Icky himself, yeah. Yeah.
Sakura163 says, Jason, the way you level up the party is always amazing. Kudos to you.
Aw, thanks.
They are very fun.
Yeah.
Do you find
Go ahead.
martial classes easier to level up or magic classes?
Magic, actually, believe it or not. Sometimes it's, one of the biggest problems I've always had in Dungeons and Dragons is when you just wake up and are better, and there's no kind of like explanation as to why. Also, the same with hit points. Like you're good, and then down. There should be like a natural progression of showing damage and slowing down and that kind of stuff, which I try to inject as much. But when it comes to the level ups, a martial class, it's hard. It's like, okay, you've been working out, so now you're stronger, or you've been training more, so now you can do more. And I would say that it's harder to level up like attribute bonuses and very physical things than it is like feats or features or traits of the class. And so, if I can say if somebody gets the ability to do something, it's a lot easier to explain that than it is just getting better at what they already are good at.
Yeah. The Sierra level up.
Yes.
Was most.
Sorry, I missed that last part. You cut out.
It was most intriguing.
Yes, most intriguing.
I know you can't really say anything, but I am so curious as to the relationship these two have, how they encountered each other. What the heck is that thing in the fire?
I mean, anyone who knows the type of character or class Sierra is kind of gets an understanding of what all of this is about. But yeah, I love, and those that have watched the streams, I love the long play. Like I love setting stuff up at the beginning of a campaign and then it coming to fruition, like you saw with what happened to Dimitri. I was building to that the entirety of their time in Ravenloft, so or in Barovia rather. So I love that. I love like people going, "Oh my gosh, I saw this happening the whole time, and here it is," and like yeah, I knew fairly early on about the whole situation with Argynvost and what I wanted to do there. I mean, it evolved through his actions and so on, but yeah, that was something that was kind of in the works for some time, and then it just got better and better as the story kind of wrote itself. And the same thing here. There's lots of stuff, and I said in the chat yesterday, I think Tides this season is finally coming into its own, and I think that the players are starting to really invest in the characters. And you saw that happen kind of season 3 for Mist, I think, and I think that is happening here. It's like, oh, okay, they're really keyed in now. They really get kind of why their characters are doing what they're doing and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's fun. I love the long play and I love the political intrigue. I had mentioned in the chat that Matt would be happy, and I think that that's what Exandria and the world of Critical Role is all about. It's all about political intrigue and espionage and sneaking and secrets, and I just love that we're able to and also not knowing what's good and bad, right? And is good really true good, or is it just good for the people who are involved? And the whole thing with the Concord and the Empire, and I just love all of that stuff. So I'm glad that we're able to really dig into that now.
Good is never all good, and
Yep.
bad is never all bad.
Yep.
That makes it so much more interesting.
Yep.
So I want to know what it's like playing Nora's girlfriend.
It's funny because watching it back, it was a little cringy for me. Like when I called her my love, I was like, "Whoa, that was a little on the nose." But in the moment, I feel like I kind of jump into that character, and I think that if you're sitting at your desk at work, imagining that you played the elven barbarian the night before that slayed the dragon, it's kind of like that was weird. But when you're actually in it and you're sitting in that chair and you're rolling those dice, I think that it just comes naturally. And so, I mean, it's a pleasure to play with the players that I have at the table. I am so thankful to have the intensity of role play that these people bring to the table, and it's just going to get more and more intense. So I'm
Oh,
super excited. Like if I think that the seeds of what is to come were yeah were planted last session.
intriguing.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
these next few ones are gonna be so good. I'm
yeah,
so excited.
yeah.
Oh, I lost my page with my questions on it. I have too many windows open, Jason.
Oh, I
There.
hate that.
Yeah, I love seeing Nora play a warlock. Warlocks are super intimidating to me with the whole like very limited spell slots, but the amount of like RP potential there I
Hmm.
think is almost more than any other
Yep.
class. And it's really fun to see you guys work it out together.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And again, like it's also such an honor to have players who totally trust me with their backstories, and like a lot of it is done on the fly. A lot of it is kind of figured out as we go. And I have plans and ideas and stuff, but yeah, we're kind of it's such an honor to build a narrative together with these folks, and the amount that they just kind of let me go with it is pretty fantastic. Man, I keep looking up at my shelf here, and I can't help but laugh at naked Falfer, naked,
Make it ethereal offer.
naked, naked ethereal Falfer. Look at his cute little bum. And I had to in Hero Forge make him cover the front area. I couldn't just allow that to appear on stream. So, but that is maybe we should give this away. A little naked ethereal Falfer. Oh, he's so great. Oh,
I love it.
I have all these minis up here. That's so fun. Like just to pull down and be like, holy crap, that's great.
That was one of my favorite parts about being there was just like scouring all the shelves. There's so many things, and there's so many things that you can look at the shelf like 6 times and not notice all of them.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. I even have ethereal Muskoka
Oh,
up here,
buddy.
and I have a character that I played on my first Gary Con stream. Speaking of Gary Con, we'll have an update on that later today. That's
Yes, we
fun.
will have several cons.
There's so much happening this month, and I've got Vor, who is the character. Oh, I almost dropped ethereal Muskoka. This is Vor, who is Brandon's character in our first in Sentinels of the Storm.
Yes, with the crag cat,
Yeah,
right?
with the Crag Cat, he was fun. And then I have a Brass de Graaf, which is Joel's annoying character. Uh, it's a Brass Hero Forge one. Anyways, I got so many fun things up here.
All right, Jason, I'm gonna need you to focus.
Sorry, toys.
Yes, it's very much fun. I don't wish to spoil your fun, but I
Yes,
just need you to
got it.
focus. So a few episodes back,
Mm,
before they made their way through the Order of the Blood Hunters, we got to see a wide variety of lycanthropic creatures. There was a were-boar, a
mm,
were-tiger, a werewolf.
mm.
Is that the only three?
Yep, those were the three that they met on the road. Yep.
And there are several others, I believe, in the books.
Yes,
Yes?
yes, there are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could play a character infected with lycanthropy, what kind of lycanthrop would you want
Oh
to?
man. That is a great question.
And we'd love to hear in the chat what everybody else would love to be. Werewolf, were-bear, were-tiger,
Were rat.
were-boar, were-rat.
Were raven.
Were-raven, right,
Yeah.
right.
Were bear. Did you say bear? Probably bear, I think. I lean towards kind of like good, sort of lawful characters, and so I think were bear would be my first choice.
It'd be a lawful good were-rat.
Yeah, I think
That's
I'm
allowed.
snuggly like a teddy bear, so.
Were-bear, got it. I think I'd want to be a were-tiger just because tigers are cool. I like it.
Omega said, we met Balto, Shere Khan, and Pumbaa.
Balto! Wow,
So
that's a blast from.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. That's great.
And speaking of the were creatures, even though the were creatures came in and saved the butts of the party, that certainly did nothing to ingratiate any sort of trust within the six, or however many there are now. Were you surprised by the amount of vehement distrust they received?
Yes. Yes and no. You know, I am up to this point, and in both campaigns, I would say this, that the characters have been very quick to trust NPCs because they're like, oh, Jason brought this person in. We should just, you know what I mean? It was more like looking through their players' eyes, I think, to kind of befriend people who were obviously trying to help them. And I mean, there's been many NPCs where I'm like, really, guys? You guys are just gonna like, whatever. And Omega says, that was just Joel. But I'm glad that that is changing. I'm glad that people are almost kind of like starting to look through the eyes of their characters more and using that filter as something to kind of judge if something should be trusted or not, especially in Exandria and Wildemount specifically, because you never know.
Sorry, my husband is making loud noises out there.
It's all good.
I just want to read some of these from the chat of what people would want to be. Scott Shellis says werebear. Julia Taylor says they want to be a werefox. One-Eyed Cat says were-raven. Ket Matari says a were-ferret.
Were-ferret.
Oh, that's amazing. A were-it. Vixen 450 wants to be a were-raven. Scots1 says were-badger.
Were-badgers are fun.
That would be fun. I swear I saw something about a were-spider. Yes, Squeaky said they would go for a were-spider. Those are very fun.
That's awesome.
I know you probably can't say much to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Sure.
One of our technomancers wants to know, who really is Gregory?
I can't say. Gregory's actually Julian. He's played by, he was our producer for many years. And no. Yeah, interesting fellow, isn't he?
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. And, you know, I can't answer that. But, you know, there are hints in the stream. If you're watching, folks, watch very carefully. Because, yeah, there are definitely hints in the stream. And I also want to say how awesome it is to finally have Julian at the table with us and playing. I'm glad that we kind of got the opportunity to do that with Joel stepping out and being able to kind of like welcome Julian. It's been great.
Yeah, he's so much fun to play with.
Yeah.
The few times that I've been with him, his role play is just hilarious, and he's really great in including everybody at the table, and he's been very delightful to watch. And going back and reviewing some of the episodes today, I had kind of forgotten how jolly Gregory was until Lady Tefra.
Yeah.
And then it was like a complete reversal of character.
The assembly tends to do that.
Yeah. For him, like tenfold.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am interested to see what might be going on there. Were you surprised at how the party responded to Lady Tefra?
I was actually very, very surprised with the way that Gregory did, because that wasn't part of my our plan. Like, we didn't discuss it. He just decided that, given his character background, that he wasn't going to trust her. I didn't expect it at all. So, and I had really no expectations except for, obviously, for Zin, for obvious reasons. But other than that, there were no real kind of expectations.
Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was gonna ask how, kind of going back to how the party reacted to the were creatures, how you handle as a DM such reactions towards characters that are kind of meant to be allies, but it almost sounds like you would prefer they acted like that.
I just prefer that they look through the lens of the character. That's all, and that they don't base their reactions on the fact that they know that these are NPCs that I've created to potentially help them.
What would you have done if they had refused to put the bags on their heads and go with the group?
Yeah, I mean, I had all kinds of thoughts about how everything would go down. And I sometimes I plan that stuff out. Sometimes it just kind of happens in the moment. I mean, they were just going to leave them, and then they'd have to deal with their lycanthropy kind of on their own. That would have sort of been the case, right? If you don't want help, fine, stay. And I was very prepared to kind of just allow them to do what they wanted to do there in that moment. And I had a whole plan if they were actually defeated by the Clovis Concord agents that were kind of sent after them too. That would have been a whole fun little side thing too, which didn't happen, but yeah.
Interesting. Omega Jones, I just want to read a comment from him real quick. He says, big shout out to Julian. The role play moments between Gregory and Zin have been some of my favorites this season.
Yeah.
There's such like diametrically opposed characters, and there's like so much tension there in character, but like you can tell that Julian and Omega are just having fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's so great to have people who can like be that tense and that at each other's throats and like you said, completely opposite, but then also be able to kind of like laugh it off after and still be friends. And I mean, that's the mark of a true sort of friendship and ability from a role player, to not take things seriously. Sorry, remember this used to happen all the time in my painting streams? I'm not bored, I promise. What's that?
Boring you?
No, not at all.
So I want to hear from the chat. Who do you think is more trustworthy, Lady T or Gregory?
Ooh, or Zin now.
Or Zin.
Yeah, who of those three are the most trustworthy?
I guess it depends on who's placing their trust in them, though.
Yeah, true.
Trust is all a matter of perspective.
True. Gregory. Jon
says Gregory.
Yeah.
Trustworthy. Squeaky agrees. Uh-oh, I'm not winning here.
Omega says Zin. That doesn't count, Jones. That doesn't count.
Oh, I have to add my own.
It's funny because before last episode, everyone was like, all the comments were like, "Oh, I don't trust that Gregory. I don't know what he's up to. I don't da 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 da." And then after last episode, it was like, "Nope, we trust Gregory. Team Gregory."
Everybody swapped. I think everybody kind of felt for him because he was so like emotional.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it did kind of suck that the first time I got to play with Julian in ages,
yeah,
our character could not interact.
Yeah. No, I know. And it was great. And again, like, and I said this off board, but I'll say it in front of everybody too. Thank you so much for your ability to allow people to like attack your characters, and it's not personal, obviously, but they were able to like really hate on Tefra, and you be able to kind of like just play the NPC for what she was intended to be, right? It's great.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
great.
it was fun. It did honestly kind of surprise me at first.
Yeah.
But then I just was like, it's acting, guys. It's acting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
So don't worry, we're all good.
Yeah, we're all friends still. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I still love you. Well, we're getting to about 15 minutes to the hour.
Mm.
You did mention that you have some con updates.
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
get into that?
Totally. So, a couple things. The first is I'm super excited for D3 at Sea. That is coming very soon, like a week and a half, I think, at this point. Um, and I'm sure Omega is super excited. And I know that Sakura is going, and I know Brandon and Dave are going. It's going to be a blast. I'm super pumped. And I've been on only one cruise in my life, and it was so much fun. And there's a karaoke bar just saying Omega on board, which we'll probably be spending quite a bit of time in. So that'll be fun. But I'm super pumped for yeah, I'm super pumped for the cruise. It's going to be interesting. I've got basically like 4 4-hour sessions per group, and I've been told that we can run the same kind of adventure, so that they can kind of like compare notes between groups and stuff about what they did that day and that kind of stuff. So that's fun. Yeah, T minus 10 days. I'm so pumped. Oh, Timothy Patrick is in the chat. And I think Timothy Patrick is one of my folks who are coming to play at my table, which I am
Hi.
super, super honored for, right, Tim? I think I want to make sure it's the right Timothy Patrick. Yes. But T minus 10 days. I'm super pumped. Just today, I was looking into all the tests and things I need to do to get home after and there. But yeah, I was just looking at all the crazy restaurants there are, and oh, it's gonna be great. And I'm planning to go scuba diving on the one day that I have off in Rotan, so in Honduras. So I'm very excited about that. I'm super pumped. I haven't been able to dive in a few years because of COVID and stuff. So I'm super pumped to be able to dive again. But yeah, I'm it's gonna be great. I know Sakura says she's playing with Mark Meer. I won't take it personally, Sakura. But then I'm like, well, Sakura gets to play with me monthly, so as a, so I don't hold it against you, Mercy, at all. Even though I'm a little jealous. No, Mark is fantastic. I was actually just talking today about being a Canadian and the pain of all that we have to do in order to get to the States. So we've figured it out, but yeah, no, I'm super pumped for D3 at Sea. What an amazing opportunity, um, especially to hang out with all the great folks that we'll be hanging out with and all the DMs. And man, what an experience that's going to be. I'm very
So good.
excited, and I've started kind of working on the concept for the adventure that I'm doing, and it'll be a lot of fun. So that's the one thing. Question, Squeaky says, if Jason gets stuck at the airport again, can I expect to get murderized again? Oh, yeah, jump in. I killed time at the airport. That's right, Squeaky. That was you. I'm sorry. And Squeaky died in the aftermath of me jumping into the Discord while waiting for my flight. Um, but yeah, that's so great. And Mercy says she's sharing the Jason love with others. Aw, I'm excited. It's going to be so fun to hang out with Mercy in real life. That's going to be quite the quite the experience. It's going to be good. Um, and of course Tim and everybody else that is going on this wonderful cruise. And Omega, I get to see Omega again. So pumped. I love me some Omega. Okay. Um, After that, I am home for 4 days, 3 or 4 days, and then I fly right out after that to GaryCon, um, which is nuts. And GaryCon's going to be fandangtastic. I don't know if anybody in the chat is going to GaryCon. It's an amazing, fun, little, quaint, little, a convention where I think the best part of that convention is the fact that it's just close proximity to everyone. This is, last time I went to GaryCon was before COVID hit. I've only been to one GaryCon before, and I was it was a massive kind of bucket list moment for me and turning point. And that was the weekend where Joel and I we still have footage and we haven't released it yet, but we were kind of doing like a documentary, sort of documenting our time there, because I had left my full-time job just before going to GaryCon.
Oh wow.
And so to pursue this full time. And so that was quite the experience. And then I was asked to play at a table with where Stefan, and that's still online. It's one of the, I think, the highest viewed kind of GaryCon streams too. Stefan was DMing. It was me, and that's when I met Nora for the first time. I played on that stream with her, and Satine and Luke and David Baxter. That was a blast, and so we did that. And then one night, we were kind of all chatting, and I kind of moved with the group, and we went and sat in the foyer at GaryCon. It's this big, not the foyer, the lobby bar. There's a big lobby with a bar along the side, and I ended up kind of walking with Nora because we had been playing together, and we sat down, and Matt Mercer and sat right beside me, and I had Joe here and Luke over here, Joe Manganiello and Luke, and I just talked to Matt for 4 hours, and Joel and I, and we talked about karaoke and life and game and the industry, and it was kind of the first time that Matt and I sort of became friends and were able to really connect. And so that was just like full circle for me because again, Matt Mercer and Critical Role were why I started doing this in the first place. And they were kind of my inspiration to do this. So, anyways, Gary Con, that's the kind of thing. I know Joe Manganiello is going back. Lillard's going to be there. That's going to be a lot of fun. And a ton of friends and people that I know are going to be there. It's going to be a blast. And so if you're going to Gary Con, I don't know. For those of you that don't know what GaryCon is, it is a convention put on by Luke Gygax, the son of Gary Gygax, who was one of the founders of Dungeons and Dragons, or the creators of Dungeons and Dragons. And the con takes place in the birthplace, the hometown of Dungeons and Dragons, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And so, yeah, if you guys can come out, it would be a fantastic, fun little thing. And like I said, everybody's just in such close proximity to each other. It's such a quaint little intimate con. It's amazing. So, anyways, it's at the end of this month if you can make it happen. But yeah, it's a really great con.
I'd love to go someday.
It's fantastic. Definitely go if you can. It's great. So that's Gary Con. Oh, and I have received word that I will be DMing a live stream while I'm there. More
Oh,
details to come, but it will be a Ravenloft based one shot. And there are certain people that are on it. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce it yet. But as soon as I know more, I will tell you guys for sure. And you guys can tune in. It'll be on the Gary Con channel, I believe.
so not on the Realmsmith channel?
No, I don't think so. No, unless I mean I might maybe, but for sure on the Gary Con channel, and you guys can check it out there. Unless we can multi-stream, which I'm not sure if that's a possibility or not. And then I fly directly from there. The plan currently to D&D in a castle. And so yeah, it's nuts. And so I will be spending my birthday in Nottinghamshire in London, near
Oh,
London.
no way.
Yeah, and I think that my good friend Steve from Sirenscape is going to take me to a pub and potentially to the the headquarters of Games Workshop, where I'm a big Games Workshop fan, have been a fan of Warhammer for a while, so I think we might visit the HQ. So yeah, so that's what's on for March. Some of that might change, who knows? D&D Castle is absolutely for sure, but it depends on people signing up. So part of that is filling the seats and so on. So it was late that I was added, and so we're trying to spread the word. But if anybody wants an amazing, awesome vacation to Europe, England to be specific, and play D&D in a castle with myself and be able to hang out with a ton of awesome people and DMs, then D&D in a castle is the way to go for sure.
That sounds like a blast.
Yes.
And it's actually in a castle.
It's called Lumley Castle. It's a full-blown castle. It's unreal with like 5-star dining and like it's crazy. Yeah.
Now that is the D&D getaway that we all need.
Yes. It is absolutely
So
a once in a lifetime opportunity. Yeah.
amazing. Any other con updates?
Not right now. Of course, I have Satine's Quest in May.
Yeah.
but that is between, yeah, between my brain just broke. Between D&D in the Castle and Satine's Quest, I will be moving studios. So that is going to be kind of like that month is going to be April is going to be the time where we start to really move things and get things going. So very excited for that.
I'm super excited to see the new studio. We got to see the outside of it when we were up in Canada,
Mm.
and it's a super cool location. Can't wait to see what it's inside, and can't wait for you guys to be in a room that has more than 6 inches of side of the table.
Yes, yeah, it'll be fantastic. It'll be better for cameras. It'll be all that stuff. So I'm very excited.
Also, I did forget to ask this, and I did say that I would. So I got to ask one more
Mm.
question from Lucky Rick on the Discord. Can you ask Jason what he thinks about how the Discord is growing and evolving?
Mm.
That's
Yes,
it.
yes.
There was a dot dot. So I thought there was more.
Yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised at how much growth we experienced. Because I mean, up to the point where Champions launched, we had like a slow trickle of people, one or two a week or so on that would join, and then all of a sudden when Champions hit, there was a big influx. So welcome everyone that came in from Champions, because we I would say strategically we just put our ad as the first ad on the pre-roll because we figured as closer it gets, our sponsors would get noticed more. But I guess in the VOD side of things, that was the first thing people would see when they opened the video of the VOD. So it worked, and we got lots of people coming in from that. That was awesome. So growth wise, it's great. Like, it's growing at its own pace, and some of it is a big price point for some people, especially from a Patreon perspective. And so, we expect it to kind of slowly build, which it has, which is awesome. Um, sorry, the growth, and the other question was
And evolving.
evolving. Like, holy crap! I would never, in my wildest dreams, imagined that we would have been able to accomplish what we've been able to accomplish in the time that we've been on Discord, and Patreon. And like, you guys honestly fuel what we do here, and are a massive reason why we can continue doing what we're doing. I can't tell you guys how enough about what it means, and the patience of getting things out in time, and we launched a brand new narrative scenario over Christmas, and some of our Smithgardians missed some of their Christmases, which is sad for me, and the time there. But hopefully, everyone in the Discord shows a massive amount of gratitude to our Smithgardians, for doing the work that they've done, because and our technomancers and our realm watchers. There is a lot of work and a lot of hands that are required to basically run a village, which is what we're doing. So it's the evolution of what we've done has, it's been so great that it's gotten the notice of D&D Beyond. And we have some of those members in our Discord. So, they're like, holy crap, I can't believe what you guys have done. It's huge. And the amount of work that you guys have put into this is massive. So, I think that its peak and the critical mass is coming. And I think that one day we'll see a massive kind of jump in growth. But I think it's great. I'm so happy and so grateful for our community.
Same. We have a pretty amazing little corner of the internet.
Hmm. I'm going to show one more thing before we leave here, because we only have 5 minutes
Okay.
left. And I just looked down at it. And I don't know if I ever showed this off. I wanted to post it on Instagram and stuff, but I never got the opportunity to do it. So Noble Night Games was one of the sponsors on Champions, and they sent everybody. Timothy Patrick just became a patron. I just got that
What?
email. Thank you, Timothy Patrick, for joining our Discord. I guess we've sold. I love the growth. Obviously, the growth of our Discord is great. Thank you, Timothy, and welcome to the Discord. That's fantastic. Noble Night Games sent everybody a special gift in our swag bag. So did Forged. Actually, let me show you what Forged gave me first, because we haven't done unboxings or anything like that in a while. Oh, where is the thing that Forged gave me? I have the box. I don't have the thing. I can't show it. Sorry, John. I had it. I don't know where it went. The actual thing. The actual thing was like a really cool dice box with dice in it, just for me. And it's not here. Just the box is here. Anyways, but Noble Knight Games sent everybody something special, and unique in our swag bags for Champions of the Realm, and you can check them out at nobleknightgames.com. So check this out. It is a Dungeon Master screen.
Oh.
From 1979, the year I was born.
Oh my gosh.
And look, it's the original Dungeon
Oh,
Master
it's a
screen.
sacred statue.
Yeah, it's the sacred statue, original Dungeon Master screen for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. How insane is that?
Gosh.
Oh,
That is
the
beautiful.
smell of old stuff. I mean, I'm pretty old too. So that's one thing that they sent me. Then they sent me this as well. And this is another DM screen. And this is one of the original ones too. It's also got the sacred statue right there. This one is, I don't see a date on it. I'd have to look into when these were actually, but yeah, and they are in very good condition. Like this one hardly has any wear, just some rounded corners. Sometimes they have like writing and stuff in them. These are, I mean, this is also 1979, so it must have been just a follow-up. But then, you ready for the coup de grace? As it were, as if that wasn't enough, they also sent me this, which just looks like a, wall of text. It says, "Attention all who enter, welcome to Briarwood, the capital of Calandia, the sword arm of the city-state, the center of the civilized world." So it's an insert for Dungeons and Dragons. And it's an intro to city-state and all this kind of information on Dungeons and Dragons. But even crazier than that, signed by Gary Gygax. Isn't that
Oh
the coolest thing ever?
my gosh. You need to get that framed, Jason.
I know. I'm going to put this in a frame for sure. I think I'm going to open it up and get it framed. Yeah,
That's pretty fabulous.
It's pretty fantastic. So that is a huge thank you to Noble Knight Games. In fact, I should probably post that tonight and a thank you for that. But man, the cool things that, yeah, it's pretty awesome to have something that Gary touched.
Oh, Shad.
What did Shad say?
Spoiler alert, Ethan is on a covert mission for all your D3 at sea people and is taking all of your dice and putting a hex on them.
Fair enough. That's awesome. That's awesome. My decks come pre-hexed, so anyways. That's all I got to show you, folks. That's it. I got lots of fun little goodies here.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing those with us, Jason.
Yes.
Well, is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I think we're good. I think it's 9:00 Eastern. Are there any more? There was one more comment. Julia Taylor says, "And you, Jason, help us survive the world as it is. Never forget that." Aw, Julia.
You just took the line. I was going to read that as our closing line.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stole your thunder.
Oh, that's just a really sweet comment from Julia Taylor.
Super.
She really echoes what a lot of us feel.
Oh, man. Yeah. I don't want to get emotional. It's not going to happen. But we're coming on 3 years that I've been doing this full time. 3 years or 4 years? 3 years, I think. In March will be 3 years. And I never imagined this. And there's lots of like spotlight moments or like, champions and sitting there and DMing people that I never thought I'd ever meet in person.
Yeah.
Um, and even people like Matt Lillard, who now I it's funny, the other day I was in the car and I'm with my son and we're driving and literally just that day, Ethan's like, "So are you like besties with Matt Lillard?" And I was like, "I don't know if you call besties. I mean, we're friends, like you know." And I mean, he obviously grew up watching Scooby Doo and stuff or whatever. And then the phone rings, no word of a lie. Like an hour later, phone rings in the car, Matt Lillard. Um, and I pick it up, and he's like, "Hey, sexy man, how's it going?" or something like that, like something totally Matt Lillard. And I was like, "Hey, buddy, I miss your sexy face." And Ethan turns to me and he goes, like, he turns to me, he goes, "Yeah, you're besties." Like, it was so funny, but just again, like, and it has nothing to do with the star power or anything like that. It just has to do with being. And I was talking to somebody, a dear friend, 2 days ago, and he was saying how how proud he is of what we're doing and how much we love each other and stuff, and a dear friend in the industry. And I just said, man, it really honestly just comes down to being a good person. Like, if you just love people and hold people close and try and do good things will come to you. And I believe that this is what this is. I think it's just, and without getting too mushy, yeah, I think it has a lot to do with just bringing people together who are like-minded and good people. Um, and life isn't like that. I mean, this industry isn't always like that. Um, but Realm Smith started by me sitting around the table with good people, people who have been a part of my life for a long time, people who I've called friends for a long time. And then it just extended. It was like our table then became the Discord, or our community, then became the Discord, then became our cast, and then became our extended cast. And it's just, I just love the thought that we're just kind of trying to spread goodness. And especially, as Julia said, in the last 2 years, it's been incredibly difficult. And a lot of people have felt very alone and all that stuff. And I just think that there's just something to be said for just being good to each other, you know.
Yep.
And sure, you beat each other up in D&D every once in a while and stab each other in the back, but that's all part of the fun, and I just think that everybody should just remember that. And when it comes down to it, I don't, I never ever set out on this adventure quest mission of Realm Smith to with the intention of, I just wanted to make great content, and I thought, I love D&D, let's make a living out of it. Um, but I never ever could have foreseen the effect that what we do has on people, and that multiple times a week I get emails saying I was in a really rough place, and Realm Smith is my family. Realm Smith is my touch point for me having a good week,
It's pretty
and
great.
that's a lot of pressure. Um, Sometimes, but it's also incredibly rewarding. And the people I've been able to, again, that I looked up to, I've worked with, um, you know, between us, I'm sitting at the table at Champions of the Realm, and Deborah Ann Wall got really super excited, and I felt like spittle on my face. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got spittle, Deborah Ann Wall on my face, and just to be in close proximity enough to somebody who I loved on Daredevil and True Blood how many years ago, and to be in those circles and be able to make people just love what you're doing enough to wear your jersey and
Yeah.
bear your thing and have Bruce Buffer and Uriah Faber. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Pretty
And again, it's not about the star power. It has nothing to do with the celebrity of it. It has to do with people who could choose to work with anyone and choose to work with you, and how that speaks to what we do and how special the things are. Which we're looking at what's next, and the people I'm talking to right now is pretty crazy. So stay tuned because the Realm Smith family is just going to continue to grow. Anyways, I have gone over 7 minutes. Um, I just think that we can't say this stuff enough. I just can't tell the community how important it is and how special it is to hear from you guys and to hear all of this. Um, you know, and again, there could be drama and there can be politics and there could be stuff that we've done wrong and things that we not regret but would have done better if we could have, and failed parts of the business. I mean, we've talked about the boxes in the past and kind of the heaviness that that has over our shoulders and trying to make that right. It's tough, but we just continue to try to do good and hope that,
well.
you know,
I think you're.
thank you. Thank you.
And we do still have a few comments, but unfortunately we are at time. I wish I could read all of the wonderful things that you guys have to say because you are such a beautiful community. Just know that we see them and we hear it and we feel it and we love you guys. So on that note, huge thanks to our sponsor, Forged Gaming. Thank you for having faith in us and helping us do this week after week. Thank you so much to Jason for being here today and flipping the script on me today. And that was really fun. Thank you to our whole team that keeps the Discord running, the Smithgardians, the Realm Watchers, the Technomancers, and the Weavers of all levels. You guys enable everything that we do and add so much value to what we do. And it's amazing to see what we're building together. And of course, last but certainly not least, huge thanks to each and every single one of our viewers that show up every week, sometimes twice a week. We get so many questions of what can you guys do to help. Just being here and being such a beautiful, positive part of our community is more than we could ask for. So thank you all so very much. And I hope everybody has a wonderful night and a great weekend. And we will see you on Monday as we venture back into the wilds. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.